do me a favor, subscribe to my channel.
Hey everyone, Kyle here from Poseidon's Pets. So it's been about 2 months since I got my painted fire red shrimp, and I wanted to give you guys an update on them. But there's one thing I noticed. My new shrimp have what's called Scutariella Japonica, or Scutariella Japonica. It's a little parasite that attaches to their face. So what I gotta do is I just gotta medicate this tank, and that way it's gonna kill off the parasites, and I'll keep an eye on them, make sure that they're good before I transfer them to the cherry tank. So what I wanted to do for you guys was I'm gonna show you how I do that. And what we use is our handy dandy scale and Safeguard or Panicure C, which is fenbendazole. So same thing that you would use to kill planaria or hydra. It's gonna take care of those guys. And I may need to do a couple doses, because what will happen is it's gonna kill the live adults, but then the eggs are gonna stay on the molts. And unless I really wanna sit there and pull out every molt, which this tank's on the ground, I don't really have time for that as it is, I'm not gonna do that. So I'm just gonna keep an eye on it, hope that one dose does it. I'm gonna dose them up, and then in a couple days I'll do a small water change and see how it goes. So I did research into if it's gonna kill my ram's horn snails. I know fenbendazole is deadly to snails. Pond snails and ram's horns have been known to be the exception. Doesn't mean it's not gonna kill them, but there's a higher survival rate for the ram's horns with this medication. And the place I got the shrimp from over at Blue Crown Aquatics, Robbie Chan over there, he's a great guy. He does import his shrimp. And this is just one of those things that, you know, happens if you import shrimp. The way they raise them over there is there's so many possibilities for parasites and disease that as long as you know how to take care of them and it's minor issues, then everything's gonna be good. I got 16 shrimp from him, and I have 8 left. So that's about half of the die-off. And when you get these import shrimp, they've come from overseas, they're staged here, and then they come to your tank. So it is stressful for them, and you may have a lot of die-off. And it's just one of those things you gotta look for when purchasing shrimp. It's always good to buy locally, but you know, sometimes it's these shrimp suppliers have good shrimp that they've imported, and you gotta check them out. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this medicine measured out and show you guys how I do that, and then I'll give you the update on the tank. All right, so real simple for this medication. It's one of my favorites, and it's not one that you want to overuse because, you know, with this, it is a dewormer, and if we overuse it, then those parasites, those worms are gonna become immune to this medicine, and that's not something we want in the hobby. But with how many tanks I have, I can't have the chance of this Scutariella running rampant in my tanks, so I'm gonna go ahead and take care of it. But all you do is take your fenbendazole, and it's gonna be 0.1 grams per gallon, or per 10 gallons, sorry. So for a 10-gallon tank, I'm just gonna do 0.1 grams. So as you can see, that's not very much. So it doesn't take much for this medicine, and it does kind of have larger crystals. So I'm gonna break this up a little bit more by smashing it, and then add it to some water to get it to be a little bit more water soluble. But that's it. I'm sure you guys have seen this before and you're used to it. So now for the tank update. So besides the 8 casualties, this tank has been doing really good. You know, I added a little bit of guppy grass, a piece of cholla wood, and some Indian almond leaves. So you will notice that this tank has gotten quite a bit of mold from the snails and the shrimp waste, and of course the leaves breaking down. So it's got a pretty decent and healthy layer of mold on there. So I think that's why these shrimp have been doing so good. You know, I didn't cycle this tank. So how I started this tank was I took that sponge filter from the tank above and I just placed it in here. So for that, you know, it's already gonna have its bacteria, it's already gonna have everything that the shrimp need to get started. And ideally, you should cycle your tank before adding them to any aquarium. But for what I was doing and needing a quarantine tank really quick, I'm really excited how it turned out. And you can see how many babies are in this tank. So there's at least 50 babies in here. So all of the shrimp that came in were female, and they were holding, bless you, So they had their babies, they all started to grow up, and the babies are even getting to a point where they should start to breed here soon. So I'm excited to see how this goes, and once I get that fenbendazole in there and I take care of the Scutariella, then I could transfer them to my cherry tank upstairs and get more of those painted fire red colors. Because my cherry tank is, the quality of those cherries is pretty high grade. I've been culling pretty rigorously to get those colors, so I'm excited for it, and I'm hoping that adding this line in there is going to add even more of those dark reds and get some of those darker colors. So I'm going to go ahead and add that fenbendazole, and then what I'm going to do for you guys is I'm just going to post the camera up on the tank like I do a time lapse, let you guys see how they're doing, and go from there. For the fenbendazole, I just dissolved it in some water, so now I'm going to add that to the tank. And you can see the chunks that are in there. So this stuff doesn't break down very well. But the shrimp will start to eat it. They'll break it down for me. And hopefully we can kill that Scutariella. How many times in this video am I going to say Scutariella? Scutariella, Scutariella. The stupid white worms. The white worms that are on their heads. And I will say that, this isn't a parasite that's really going to harm the shrimp. If it gets really bad, it can affect their ability to eat, ability to see. It can get into their gills, and it's just not good to have, especially if you're wanting to sell shrimp. So this isn't something that you want to give to somebody else, especially if they don't know what they're doing. So I'm going to take care of it. So if I do sell these shrimp to anybody else, and if you have bought shrimp off me and you see this video, know that nothing came out of this tank. You're good. Hey you guys, thank you so much for watching. I definitely appreciate it. I hope you liked today's video on the update on the painted fire red tank and how I'm going to kill that Scutariella and get the shrimp healthy so I could add them to the colony. So as always, if you love me, you love my fish, you love my videos, hit that subscribe button. You won't regret it. Hit it right now. So thanks again for watching, and enjoy the rest of your day.